So getting comfortable, however that looks and feels for you this afternoon, whether you'd like to sit on the floor, legs out, legs crossed, soles of the feet touching, chair handy if you'd like to sit on the chair. And let's connect to our breath and really feel the surface that's supporting us. So if you would like to take your eyes and soften them, or if you'd just like to keep looking, that's perfectly fine. Having a comfortable position for your hands. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of energy, perhaps the hands upwards. If you feel like you've got too much energy and you need to just bring it down a little bit, perhaps your hands on the tops of your thighs, or you might like your hands just resting on top of each other. So noticing where your body is touching the floor and the floor is just meeting your body. And listening to the sound of your breath. So really noticing how that sounds in your ears. Feeling it as well. Base of the nostrils, in the back of your throat. And inviting in, so visualization now, into our root chakra area. So Muladhara is the name of the root chakra. So a red glowing energy ball. Let's just pretend you've dived directly into the center of the earth and you've taken a big ball of molten lava and it's sitting around the base of the spine, the root chakra area. So as we notice our breath, visualizing this bright red, molten, glowing red ball and allowing that ball to move with your breath, spreading down to your legs, so knowing this ball, it relates to our stability, it relates to our security, it relates to our survival and what we're here for. What is our purpose? And are your basic needs being met? And they cover clothing, shelter, water, food. And as I mentioned, if you're overactive in this area, perhaps your basic needs aren't being met. Your purpose is you're a bit unsure of what your path is. So feeling that red molten ball of energy. And let's now increase our breathing or widening our breath. So the breathing that we've been doing over the past few weeks, so really spreading your belly outwards and forwards and backwards. And then gently drawing as if you're trying to pull up a pair of really skinny tight jeans, that zipper, drawing that up to the lower abdomen, maybe even up to the belly button. So as we inhale, we expand and relax everything. And then as we exhale, squeezing that zipper up. And feel like you're doing that with this red light, this red glowing molten ball of energy spreading around. So visualizing the color red. So to activate this area, wearing red underpants in that area. So you can put on some red undies, eat red foods, eat foods from the ground, sweet potatoes, carrots. And feeling grounded and secure as we just sit here for another little moment, breathing in, expanding, and breathing out, drawing up like a tight pair of jeans, squeezing that zipper up. Breathing in, expanding, and as we breathe out, drawing our belly in, squeezing on those tight jeans. So taking that ball of red light with us now as we lightly blink our eyes a few times and come into a tabletop position. So just taking your time now as you transition into your tabletop, supporting your knees if you need anything underneath your knees. And let's start with our toes curled upwards. We generally have them flat, but let's place them upwards this time. Roughly the wrists are underneath the shoulders, and let's just feel our way through here, noticing how the body feels, maybe a little gentle rocking from side to side. As always, our clip lock is in place. So the pubic bone clip locking in to the lower part of your sternum so all our contents don't fall out on the floor. Really feeling this breath moving side to side, forwards and backwards, that big glowing ball of molten energy, and feeling we're widening the groin as we breathe. So playing around with how the neck feels, maybe a little rocking from side to side. And let's pretend we've got that beautiful scarf around our neck. We're drawing our chin in and then down. And you might start breathing in here, lifting the chest, clip lock is in place. And then rounding. So moving the hips forward, draw the belly in. So the chin is moving in first and then down. And then when you feel ready, lowering, lifting and expanding. And there might be the natural tendency to move from side to side here. That might feel nice. So play around with how it feels, moving in your own time, being mindful of your neck. And lifting, spreading and feeling that breath moving outwards, moving forwards and backwards, outwards, forward and keep breathing. And then the invitation is to come back to neutral spine, just feeling there for a moment. And let's take our legs a little bit further apart. So taking the legs perhaps the distance of the mat, maybe even a little bit further, and moving the cat-cow from here. And seeing how that feels as we really broaden our groin area, spreading our hips, feeling that spaciousness, that red, molten, glowing ball of lava. And then the invitation to come into a downward facing dog is there. So a wide-legged downward dog. So tucking the toes here, clip lock in place, shoulders back and down as we lift up and move back. So your ears will come in between the shoulders, clip lock is in place. Let's rock on our heels. So really feeling that wide spreading, that breath moving outwards and back. The colour red there. So a little rocking, bending the knees, moving from side to side. Have a pause at any time when you need. And then from here, we'll slowly roll our feet from side to side. So I'm coming up on my toes and I'm rocking my feet. Obviously, Deb, not for you. Have a little rest through this one. Anyone else with a broken foot, no need to do this. You might like to just come onto your knees and just sway from side to side. Or if that feels more suitable for anyone, just swaying from side to side. Otherwise, keep breathing wide and drawing up and having that beautiful golden ball around our groin area. And feeling into this. For a few more breaths, please feel free to come down at any time. I'm just noticing the sensations in the shoulders. And let's all come down now to our bellies. So inviting your knees, keep the clip lock in place, belly, chest, and coming down. Extending the arms nice and long out in front. And really feeling the floor supporting you here. Feeling again that red ball of glowing energy moving out around our lower spine, around our hips. Feeling the hips connecting to the floor, the tops of your knees, the feet. And slowly raising the head, imagining that scarf around our neck, drawing the chin in and then lowering and slowly sliding your hands in for a little mini Sphinx pose here. We will move our head in a moment, but let's just have a little bit of lovely lengthening to the back of the neck. And let's adjust the neck now to look ahead in front of us. Kiss the wall, so lengthening, and then a little gaze up. Very safe, non-compressive on the back of the neck. And head back down to neutral, and let's all lower. And have a brief pause here. We're going to change the position of the arms. The arms will come out nice and wide to the side. So very slowly, bring the chin in. So the neck moves in first, lower the chin, raise the chin, and feeling the arms out to the side. A little lift to the chest. Keep breathing. Now the energy all around the lower back, the base of the spine, the groin, the hips. Breathing. And lowering down. We'll come up one more time there, so just have a little pause here for a moment. And again, visualizing that golden ball, that energy ball in our pelvic area, around the base of the spine. That breath, moving it out, moving it forward. And raising the chin, lifting the head. So the head moves back in and then lower the chin down. Feel that length to the back of the neck. And just play around here. You might like to apply a little pressure or rock the hands from side to side. Think about your clip lock being in place as well. So there's a little bit going on here. Have a pause if you need at any stage. Keep breathing. Feeling your connection to the earth. Your knees on the floor, the tops of your feet. And very gently lowering down. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders. Transitioning now into child's pose. So tucking your toes. Coming through. Perhaps touching the toes together, bringing the weight of the bottom back towards the heels. Support yourself if you need to, having a cushion underneath your knees to make that height a little bit, make it a little bit higher for you. Perhaps walking your hands out in front or resting on your fists. And again, let's do our nice breathing here where we're expanding. So release on the exhalation, everything's just relaxed. And as we exhale, squeeze into those tight jeans. Breathing, squeezing into those tight jeans. And slowly coming up into our tabletop where we will then downward dog. So come into your downward facing dog. So a few things to think of here. Clip lock is in place. Tucking the toes. Backpack on so the shoulder blades just move. It's like you've got the heaviness of the shoulders just draw down. Weight coming back. Not losing the contents. Coming up. Now I'll give you the option here too. This is the choice here. You might like to try and raise one of your feet or stay where you are. Raising and rotating your foot around. If that doesn't feel right for you, just coming and staying in your downward facing dog. So 5 revolutions one way and 5 back the other way. And then coming and doing the other leg. See how you go with that. Lowering that one down once you've done your 5. Have a pause at any stage if you need. Left leg coming up. Hips staying nice and square. Circling that foot around. 5 revolutions. And back the other way. And we'll lower that leg. Take a bend to the knees. We'll walk our hands towards our feet. Come forward a little bit. And just gently hold your ankles, so the back of your ankles, so your hands are sort of resting on the backs of your calves. And again, let's lengthen the back of the neck. So the chin, the head moves back and then lowering down. Now feel like you're applying a little bit of pressure to the back of the legs as you lift your tail up. Not losing any contents. And breathing here. Play around with how that feels. You might like to turn the head from side to side. Perhaps bend the knees occasionally and lifting up and just seeing how that feels in the back of the legs. And again, that groin area, the base of the spine. Let's go back to our visualization of the beautiful golden ball, the red molten ball. A little bit more pressure on the legs to see how that feels. So as you're applying pressure, move your feet back, but don't move the feet back, if that makes sense. Imagine there's glue on your heels. You're trying to move your heels backwards as you're applying a little bit of pressure, but nothing's happening. So that activates the glutes, and that'll activate your quadriceps. And slide the hands now around to the front of the shins. Let's come up for a half lift. Clip locks in place. Keep the neck nice and lengthened. Tailbone up. Breathing here. Energy here. Base of the spine, the color red. Lowering down. Again, nice and heavy head. Still keep the neck in and down. Hands back around the back of the legs. Applying a little bit of pressure. Maybe trying to move your heels backwards. But they're stuck. They're not going anywhere. That beautiful color. Breathing in here. Expanding. Breathing out. Squeezing into your skinny jeans. Let's do 3 more breaths here. And then coming into chair sit. So I'll talk you through bending the knees, where clip locks in place and slowly raising the arms, only as far as you comfortably can. So clip locks on, heels are moving back, a lot of activation in the legs. 5 breaths here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming up. Hands together, hands alongside. Let's do 3 cleansing breaths here. So breathing in, we'll raise our arms up and on the way out. So hands coming out to the side, then rotate the palms. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Taking a step back, so about a hip distance step back. So you might like to just move forward a little bit. Have some support there if you need. Coming back, I'm going to take the right leg back and I'd like to come into a kind of like a runner's lunge. So bending that left knee, so the left knee is over the left ankle, and we'll come up onto the ball of that right foot. So there's a slight bend in the knee. Imagining now that bit of glue underneath the left heel, and we're trying to draw that left heel towards us, but it's not moving. So feeling steady there in our runner's lunge. Now support yourself if you need to. Feel the stretch through the back of the leg, clip locks in place, bringing the elbows as best that you can together. We're here, we're going to start doing a little cat-cow. So rounding here, so draw the belly in, neck, chin, And then as we lift, expand our chest, lift from the chest, we'll change the position from the arms coming from here up and over the head with the elbows coming out. I'll just do that front on so you can see. So we're in the lunge position, elbows together, rounding. So we're switched on here, and then lifting, expanding, hands resting on the top of the head or just above the head with the elbows coming back. So let's try 5 of those on this side. So feeling really steady, left ankle drawing back, clip lock in place, rounding, and then cow pose, expanding, rounding, and expanding, rounding, and lifting with the chest. 2 more, rounding, and lifting, and we'll release, step forward. Now we're going to need to pummel that side. So let's make fists and pummel both sides. And then changing legs. So they should be pretty warm. I'm quite hot. I hope you're all nice and hot and sweaty too. Okay, so we did the right side. Let's do the left side. So right foot staying out in front, left leg coming back. Bend that right knee so the knee stays over the ankle. Pop the glue down underneath that heel and then move that heel back towards you. So the bend's there, the heel's moving back. I can feel that activation. I can feel the quadriceps switched on. And let's come up onto the ball now of the left foot. So feeling nice and steady. Have a look down at a little focal point if you need to, or perhaps even at eye level. Get yourself steady. Hips staying forward, clip lock in place. And bringing the elbows in towards each other, touching the palms, rounding the spine here. And then lifting with the chest. So the chest comes up, the hands come to just above the top of the head, and the elbows move out. And the chest might even come out a little bit. We'll do 5 of those. So rounding and exhaling. So cat-cows, while we're building some strength in our legs, thinking about our glowing ball of molten lava in our base of the spine, feeling safe, I'm secure, I'm grounded. And 1 more. And we will release, stepping forward, and a little pummel. We'll do our 3 cleansing breaths. Hands coming out, rotate the palms, breathing in. Touching palms. Have a little shake. Now, the plan now is for squat pose. So coming into a wide-legged squat. So see how you feel. You might like your chair. You might like your support underneath you. So this is the time now perhaps to grab your books. You might like to, I know I mentioned Tupperware, like an ice cream container, something like that that's fairly sturdy. So I'll show you a couple of options. First of all, clip lock in place, legs are nice and wide, coming down into the basic. And we will bring our hands together and apply equal amount of pressure to our palms. That's your first option. The chair, clip lock in place. And you can put a book under each foot here. And that's just how we stay here. Or another option, if you're feeling it this afternoon, you might like to come down for a low and perhaps even sit on your block or your book Maybe that's not comfortable, maybe put it the other way. Elbows resting on the knees, drawing, opening, and pressing our hands together. So you may get your elbows to your knees, you may not, but just remembering that clip lock needs to stay on to keep our lower back safe. So see what feels right for you. That's a little bit too low for me with my bruise and everything going on. So I'm going to take a little while here and I'm going to do a little seated one as well. So you play around with that. Let's aim for 8 breaths. So you can mix it up as well if you like. Clip lock in place. So the knees are gliding the same way that the feet are pointing. Clip lock, lengthened, pressure in the palms. So perhaps 4 here. And really feel into this groin area, our hips, our pelvic floor, everything there. Red color, that molten lava, that energy ball. Draw the heels in. Imagine glue underneath. Draw them in, activating a little bit more of the legs. Keep breathing. Equal amount of pressure into the hands. If you're able to stay there another 4 breaths, I'll just demonstrate the other version. So I'm lifting my feet, I'm angling my feet, I'm sitting towards the front, and I'm applying a little bit of pressure to my knees, but my knees are applying the equal pressure back. So we're still switched on. I can still have the glue underneath my heels, drawing my heels in towards each other and applying a little pressure to the knees, but my knees won't let me. So my knees are pushing in as I'm pushing out. Maybe 5 breaths there, 4 breaths there. No pose is better than the other. They are all equal. It just depends on what your body's feeling like this afternoon and what feels right for it. We are all different. We've all got different things going on. Just listen to your body. Be gentle with your body. And connect back now to that groundedness. That's a long 4 breaths. We'll come out of it. Have a little shake and come down onto the floor. So down to the floor, bringing a little bit of movement to the spine. So coming down, bringing the knees in towards the chest, taking a hold of the knees and rocking from side to side, lightly, gently. So around 8 of those, so 4 on each side. And you might like to lower the feet about hip width apart and allow the knees to fall from side to side. Just explore that, how that feels now in your hips, in the lower back, base of the spine. And again, visualizing that beautiful golden ball, the color red, connecting you to the earth, feeling safe, secure, stable. And the option to come to one side and leave the legs there might be there for you. You might like to take the opposite leg and just rest it lightly. Or you might like to keep going. Finding a comfortable position for your arms alongside shoulder height, cactusing back behind your head, and perhaps gaze into the other side. Or not. Maybe keep continuing going with the knees. So stay in that pose for as long as you feel you've had a nice little stretch. So let's 5 to 8 breaths. I'm just going to keep rocking here from side to side while you do your 8 breaths on one side. And when you're ready to change sides, change your sides. And perhaps take the side that you're on, lift that leg and lower it just below the opposite leg. on the knee. And again, arms by the side, shoulder level, cactusing or back. So if your legs are to the right now, perhaps turning your head to the left. I'll leave that up for you to see how that feels. Again, visualizing that golden ball of molten lava from the deep, deep depths of the earth, right at the base of the spine, across the pelvic area, pelvic floor, hips, groin. Visualizing that. So 8 breaths here, but please come out if you need to. If you'd like to continue rocking from side to side, that option's there for you. And just listening to when your body's telling you, your body, not the brain, your body's saying, yeah, okay, I'm done. One last big stretch, big release, knees to chest, perhaps a little shake out, whatever you feel, and we'll get ready for a little mini eye rest. So perhaps rolling yourself over onto the side, coming up, getting yourself nice and warm, having the cushion underneath your head, perhaps a pillow underneath your knees, a little blanket over the top, getting nice and comfortable. So getting nice and settled, as comfortable as you can. You might like to try and sit this afternoon, or laying down might be the best option, whatever works best for you. So making any last minute adjustments just to get yourself nice and comfy and settled. And being aware of the environment around you. So any colours behind the eyelids, images or light, the sound around you. The sounds within you. Perhaps listening to the sound of your breath. Maybe some gurgles in the